Hello and a very warm welcome. Thank you, Dr. Mahesh and Purva, for joining in. And we are reading about listen to the voice of the large community, of a large community from this book, The Courage to be Disliked, which is very beautifully written. And I think it is a must read for everyone. There are very new concepts that have been introduced, and the way it has been introduced is also very thought provoking, I would say. Let me quickly share the screen so that we can read it together. Is the screen visible? All right. Listen to the voice of a large community. So, in the last chapter, the author has told us that it is a very good idea if you start seeing, instead of looking at your own self alone, it is always better to think in the perspective of a community. Instead of thinking कि मेरे लिए क्या है इसके अंदर every time, it's good to see things as in what good can I do for the society, for the community. And it also talked about that you are not the center of the world, wherein the idea was again कि for every single human being they are the center of the world. Just like अगर आप चाइना का मैप देखोगे तो China will be in the center, at the center, and all the other countries will be the sidelines. If you look at the India's map, all the other countries are sidelined, only India is the center of attraction. If you go and check USA's map, तो USA का map बीच में होगा, and all the other are sidelined. So for every human being they are the center of attraction. Now what do you do with it? तो अगर आपको, there is a beautiful line which said that person didn't do anything for me, that person let me down, that person isn't my comrade anymore, is the feeling that we get जब हमारे से कोई contradictory बात करता है. Normally speaking, we should be looking at every person around us as a comrade rather than our enemy or anything else. Or even actually we should also be working in such a way that people find that they are uplifted when they are with us rather than they are being put in put down. And one needs to think not what will this person give me, but rather what can I give to this person. अगर हर इंसान ऐसा हो जाए कि आपके साथ में खड़े होके आपसे यही समझना चाहे कि आपको क्या चाहिए, how can I help you, how beautiful it be, right? So that brings us to listen to the voice of a large community. Youth says, I must admit you are starting to lose me. Let me try to straighten things out a bit. First, at the gateway of interpersonal relations, we have got a separation of tasks, and as the goal, there is a community feeling. And you are saying that community feeling is having a sense of other as comrades and an awareness of having one's own refuge within the community. Up to this point, it is something I can understand and accept, but the details still seem a bit far fetched. For one thing, what do you mean by expanding this thing you call community to include the entire universe and then even the past and the future and everything from living thing to inanimate objects? So in the last chapter, the philosopher also said that um, community is not only hello. Community is not only you, me, and people around us. Community is on the whole everywhere. So it is not only India, it is not only the world, it is the universe. Universe के अंदर जो कुछ आता है is all a community, whether it is an insect, whether it is plant, whether it is meteors, whether it is stars, whatever. जो कुछ भी आता है, सब, everything on a whole is a community. And now youth has a problem with that कि ये कैसे. Philosopher says it certainly does make things more difficult to understand if one takes Adler's concept of community verbatim and tries to actually imagine it including the universe and inanimate objects. For the time being, suffice it to say that the scope of community is infinite. Youth, infinite. Philosopher. Take, for example, a man who, on reaching retirement age and stopping work, quickly loses his vitality and becomes depressed. Abruptly cut off from the company, that was his community, and bereft of the title or profession, he becomes an ordinary nobody. As he is unable to accept the fact that he is now normal, he becomes old practically overnight. But all that really happened to the man is that he was cut off from the small society that is his company. Each person belongs to a separate community, and when it comes down to it, all of us belong to the community of the earth and the community of the universe. This is so well said. I have seen so many people who retire. उसके बाद एकदम से वो कुर्सी लेके बैठ जाते हैं. All of a sudden they get unwell. All of a sudden something starts happening in their lives because things, they feel that they have been, removed from somewhere. So just a moment. Sorry. Uh, yeah. तो anybody has anything to share till here? Because retirement is सच्ची में एक ऐसी चीज है जिसको मैंने एक्चुअल में देखा है. My mother-in-law, when she got retired, उससे पहले she was very well, like, running around and भाग भाग के सारे काम कर रही है. And all of a sudden when she got retired, she started sitting on the chair, and उसके बाद उनका sitting on the chair ही रह गया. She never moved. शी हैड स्टार्टेड हैविंग डिफिकल्टी. एक तो उनके अंदर मेरे ख्याल से जब रिटायरमेंट हो जाता है तो एक कट ऑफ फ्रॉम द स्कूल, शी वाज अ स्कूल टीचर, कट ऑफ फ्रॉम द स्कूल एंड स्कूल सोसाइटी हो गया. And all of a sudden she might have started feeling that now I am old, I am good for nothing, I cannot earn, blah blah blah, and all of it reduce the self-worth, and the health starts deteriorating. Let's hear it from each one of you as to what is your perspective on this. Yes.
So I absolutely agree, Karishma, because I've seen the same thing in my family too. Like my father-in-law, after he got retired, went in a complete different zone. And on one side, I've seen my father, after retiring, he got involved with the community where he's like living his purpose, I can say. He's running a school, and then he's doing things which he actually loves to do, and not after earning. So I feel like, that thing, like after retirement or something, that feeling of having a community tribe where you can actually continue something, and your mind is going to be, you're going to be serving something or doing something which you would love to do, is something the uh, yeah, much needed.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And Dr. Mahesh, do you have anything to share on this? और एक बात बताऊं, the beautiful part that the book is talking about is, why do we limit ourselves to that community of where we work only? Why not make the society our community? Why not make the world our community? उससे ज्यादा भी expand कर लो तो पेड़ पौधे, बटरफ्लाई, मच्छर, मछली, घोड़ा, गधा, सब हमारे को अपनी कम्युनिटी क्यों नहीं दिखते? Why this pen is not, this marker is not a community for me? Why can't I be so happy with this pen? And I love this concept because that is something that will keep you alive. All right. So the youth says that's pure sophistry to suddenly come out with you belong to the universe, as if that could give someone a sense of belonging. यही आएगा ना दिमाग में. It is a beautiful conversation between the youth and the philosopher. कि youth जितने questions पूछते हैं, it feels that yes, this is a question that is burning in my heart and soul as well. So the philosopher says, it's true. There is no way one can just imagine the entire universe of all of a sudden. Even so, I would like you to gain the awareness that you belong to a separate, larger community that is beyond the one you see in your immediate vicinity. For example, the country or local society in which you live, and that you are contributing in some way within that community. सो ब्यूटिफुली डन, राइट? कि हाँ, क्यों नहीं हम एक ऐसा माहौल बना सकते, क्यों नहीं हम ऐसे लोगों के साथ, सबके साथ इन्वॉल्व हो सकते. सो देयर इज अ फ्रेंड अर्चना हु इज इन्वॉल्व इन द कम्युनिटी सर्विस बाय द वे ऑफ गोइंग टू एनजीओस फॉर वर्क. शी हैज ऑल हर, मतलब उसकी सोसाइटी में जितने भी कीर्तन होते हैं, जितना कुछ भी होता है, शी गोज ऑन ऑल दैट. शी गोज ऑन द किट्टी एज वेल. शी गोज ऑन द, शी डज द हीलिंग पार्ट एज वेल. शी डज सो मेनी थिंग्स कि उसको ऑब्वियसली एक फीलिंग आ जाती है ना कि हाँ, ये जो वर्ल्ड है, इट इज फॉर मी. इट इज बिलोंगिंगनेस, राइट? एक जगह से कुछ कट ऑफ हो भी जाए तो देर आर सो मेनी अदर प्लेसेस. And I think it is a very beautiful way of doing it. Some people have love for plants, some people have love for animals. So agar hai, so why not extend it and expand it to a bigger purpose? Is what I would like to, put it here. Uh, to which the youth says, then what about in situation like this? Say there is a guy who's unmarried, has lost his job and his friends, and who avoids the company of other people and just lives off the money his parents left him. So he's basically running away from all the tasks of the world and tasks of friendship and tasks of love. Would you say that even a guy like that belongs to some sort of community? We have seen such people in our community, right? हम हमारे आसपास भी कोई ना कोई ऐसा जरूर होगा जो अनमैरिड होगा, जिसके पास पैसे भी नहीं, जॉब वगैरह भी नहीं होगी, नो गर्लफ्रेंड, नो वाइफ, नथिंग, एंड दे आर जस्ट लिविंग ऑन देयर पेरेंट्स, मे बी, मनी, आई कैन से. तो क्या वो भी किसी पार्ट को बिलोंग करते हैं? Philosopher says, of course. Say he goes out to buy a loaf of bread. He pays for it with a coin. That coin does not simply go back to the baker of the bread. It goes to the producer of flour and butter, to the people who deliver those ingredients, to the purveyors of the gasoline used by the delivery vehicle, to people in the oil producing countries where the fuel comes from, and so on. So it's all connected. People are never truly alone or separate from the community and cannot be. Wow, this reminds me of हम हर रोज जो रोटी खाते हैं वो कहाँ से आ रही है, कहाँ से आ रही है. There are so many people involved in the process. Anything you want to say here? Law of
I would like to say about law of oneness, in which they say everything is interconnected. So
hmm.
that speaks a lot about uh, like everyone. Sorry, so sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, now मेरा मुझे लग रहा है ना he won't allow me to.
It's okay. It's okay. Dr. Mahesh, would you like to add on to this?
Yes, tell me, madam.
You have listened to what we read, no?
No, frankly speaking, I have missed some 3-4 minutes.
Okay. So this person was taking an example, the youth was taking an example of somebody who does not have a wife, who's unmarried, who's living on the who does not go out of the house and who does not even earn any money, who lives on the earnings of his parents. Now, how does he be the part of the community? So the
Very nice
philosopher,
question. Very nice question, madam, and I would like to answer it also.
all right.
See, the people who are dependent on somebody else for their earnings, the beggars cannot be choosers. You have to adjust with the fellow, accept the fellow, then only it is possible for you to live with him. Because he is habituated of living on somebody else's money. Motivating him for doing something for earning, I think it's a total waste of time. You support him, just change the gender bias, change your roles. If he's willing to take care of a family, it's well and good. If he's not going to do that also, then what is the use of living your life with him? He is neither supportive, nor helping, not taking care in the house, not earning. And I think if everybody knows this, none of the girl will marry him.
Yes.
None. Because girls have more intelligence, more emotional intelligence in the marital affairs or any emotional affairs. They want somebody more smarter than themselves to get married. A more smarter fellow who can support. It's all right. If he's not earning, it's okay. If a wife is earning or a girl is earning, it's okay. But I'm very sure that no girl will like a fellow who is totally dependent on somebody else's income. Nobody will like.
Absolutely.
At least they want, let him earn a rupee, no problem. I will support him by doing everything. But I don't want a fellow who is feeded by his parents. She will never accept it. And there are so many issues also in that. And if this type of marriages do happen, there is always shift in the relationship patterns. And I don't think the honesty also will be under stake. The fellow who is not going outside, introvert fellow, is not going to do anything. But wife is not introvert. She has a lot of avenues. You can get a better partner than her. Maybe temporary, maybe permanent. So that is up to her. So equal participation in today's day is a need of an hour. It's okay if some another person is accepting that he is not capable of earning. Let me help him. With that intention, okay, it can be go, but not for a long time. Surely not for a long time.
Thank you
Both
for
people in poverty, both people in the poverty they can live,
that.
but not without respect.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Um,
Thank you much.
the question here was that how will that person be a part of community? To which the philosopher says that this person is a part of community because when he goes out to buy some vegetables, buy some, groceries, is connected to that person because the coin, the penny, the money that he's going to give to the shopkeeper is going not only to the shopkeeper, but lots of people beyond that who are, responsible in this process of manufacturing of whatever he's buying. So that is how he is connected to the society. The chapter is talking about how we all, no matter what, are a part of community. Youth says, so you are saying I should fantasize more when I buy bread? Philosopher, it's not a fantasy. It is a fact. The community Adler speaks of goes beyond things we can see, like our households and societies, to include those connections that we cannot see. So youth says, excuse me for saying so, but you are escaping into abstract theory. The issue we should be addressing here is the sense of belonging, that it's okay to be here. And then, with regard to the meaning of the sense of belonging, it is the community we can see that is stronger. You will agree with that, won't you? For example, if we compare the community with the earth community, the sense of belonging of someone who says, I am a member of this company would be stronger. To borrow your terminology, the distance and the depth of the interpersonal relationships are completely different. It's only natural that when we search for a sense of belonging, we will attract to the smaller community. To which the philosopher says, that is a perceptive observation. So let's start thinking about why we should be aware of multiple and large communities. As I started earlier, all of us belong to multiple communities. We belong to our households, our schools, our workplaces, and the local societies and the countries in which we live. This far, you agree with, yes? Youth says, yes, I do. Philosopher, well, suppose that you, as a student, regarded the community of the community that is school as absolute. In other words, school is everything to you. that I exist because of school, and no other I is possible without it. But naturally, there will be occasions within that community when you run into adversity. It could be getting bullied, or not being able to make friends, or keep up with your schoolwork, or not adapting to the system of the school in the first place. That is to say, it's possible that with regard to the community that is your school, you won't have that it's okay to be here sense of belonging. Youth. Yes, absolutely. That's quite possible. Philosopher. When that happens, if you are thinking of school as being everything to you, you will end up with without a sense of belonging to anything. And then you will escape within a smaller community such as your home. You will shut yourself in and maybe even turn to violence against members of your own family. And by doing such things, you will be attempting to gain a sense of belonging somehow. What I would like you to focus on here, though, is that there is a more separate community, and moreover, that there is a larger community. Youth says, what does that mean? Philosopher says that there is a large world that extends far beyond the confines of school. And every one of us is a member of that world. If there is no place of refuge in your school, you should find a different refuge outside the walls of the school. You can change schools, and it's fine to withdraw from school too. A community that you can break relations with by simply submitting a withdrawal notice is one that you can have only so much connection to in any case. Once you know how big the world is, you will see that all the hardships you went through in the school was a storm in a teacup. The moment you leave the teacup, the raging storm will be gone, and the gentle breeze will greet you in its place. So the youth says, are you saying that as long as you keep yourself shut up inside the teacup, you will never stand a chance outside it? Philosopher, secluding yourself in your room is akin to staying in the teacup, as if you are hunkering down in a smaller shelter. You might be able to wait out the rain for a short while, but the storm will continue unabated. Youth. Well, maybe in theory anyway, but it's hard to break out. The decision of withdraw from school itself isn't something to be taken lightly. Philosopher. I'm sure you are right. It would not be easy. Therefore, there is a principle of action that I would like you to commit to memory. When we run into difficulties in our interpersonal relations, or when we no longer see a way out, what should consider first and foremost is the principle that says listen to the voice of a larger community. Now, so the youth says the voice of a larger community. Philosopher. If it is a school, one does not judge things with the common sense of the community that is the school, but instead follows the common sense of a larger community. Now let's say it's your school and your teacher has been behaving in an authoritarian manner. But the power of authority your teacher wields is nothing more than an aspect of a common sense that operates only within a small community that is the school. From the standpoint of the community that is human society, both you and your teacher are equal humans. If unreasonable demands are being thrust on you, it is fine to object to them directly. You. But it will be very difficult to object when the teacher is right in front of me. Philosopher. Not at all. Though this might be termed a you and I relationship, if it is one that can break down just because you raise an objection, then it is not the sort of relationship you need to get into in the first place. It is fine to just let go of it. Living in fear of one's relationship falling apart is an unfree way of living in which one is living for other people. And mostly the people pleasing part also comes there. There are so many women who keeps on, just bearing all the bullshit, and they say कि नहीं इसके अलावा तो जिंदगी है ही नहीं, but they are not seeing the bigger larger part. They don't even raise a voice to stand for themselves because they feel the relation will fall apart. And the book says, and we all know now, that such sort of a relationship is not worth it. Youth says, you're saying to choose freedom at the same time that I have community feeling. Philosopher. Yes, of course. Do not cling to the small community right in front of you. There will always be more, you and I, and more everyone, and larger communities that exist. All right. Do you have anything to share, Dr. Mahesh? Oh, this philosophy is already outdated after 2000 and before. Relationship shift is seen after 2000. That's true. I would agree to that.
Madam, may I know what made it to shift?
Huh?
I'm going deep in the subject now. Why the shift in the relationship and community has happened?
I would not talk about community.
Why? Because people started becoming self-centered, and the communication, interpersonal relationship, sharing, playing together, having your own communities, having your own groups, everything has changed after 2000. What will be the proper cause for that?
How do you see the change? What is the change that you see?
Change is totally different. All communities worldwide, they have shifted everything.
Can
See,
you
people used to go for the entertainment outside. Now they are sitting in their house. Cinema halls are empty. Got it? Previously, they used to have 50 weeks celebration of cinema hall screening. Now even 50 hours is very big thing. So the shift in this total system, the entire population has changed. The thinking has changed. Relationship has changed. The social norms have changed. Everything is totally changed. If you see from the eyes of a psychologist, our living has changed a lot. Our dressing has changed. Our thinking has changed. What we look at is changed. How we eat, think, outside and inside, that has changed. How we communicate, that has also changed. How we get transferred from this place to that place, that shift is also there. Everything, even holding a pen, writing with a pen, and that those days before 2000 and today's pen, there's a lot of difference. What made this change? My question is,
First of all, though, I want to say that it is not only after 2000. We have been evolving ever since. Evolution is the truth. क्यों नहीं हम आज भी पेड़ का तना काट के उसका राउंड तने से ही आगे कम्यूट कर रहे हैं. There has been some shift every decade.
yes, I accept.
And it has been always for the betterment. Now, after COVID, I would say that people have become a little more introverts. They have started saying even more inside. उससे पहले तक
That is second shift. 2000 to 2000 and little, say about 10 years or so, in that decade, a big change has happened, and a new entity had come out that is known as Facebook. Te-
Isn't that
Technologically,
good? Isn't that good?
just mind well, technologically, people want to share with another person. They need not see a person, but they can share on the social platform, which is venting out their everything, and they are enjoying everything from that.
The thing is
But
that
in
they
fact,
all the pros as well as cons of all the things that are happening in the world.
everything. But before that, no such technology was available.
Smartphones had already arrived, I think.
No. 1999 only we got internet and all these things
Ah.
and social media in India. Before that, in US and all these things, they were there since 2008.
नहीं, I'm
Sorry,
from Belgium.
it is around 2090, 1998.
हाँ,
Yeah, the Facebook is born nearby that time only.
हाँ. Because
So
when I
the
was abroad, the internet was there. It was 97 to 2000. I was out. I was out of India. And उस time पे internet was there.
yes, it was there, but not in India. But still, the way you communicate has changed. The way you react with the society has changed. Your social status has changed. You believe camera more than the person now.
ये बात ठीक बोल रहे हो आप. The thing is that people have lost the communication skills. When they meet आमने सामने, they don't know how to communicate their emotions. It is so much easier for them to send an emoticon of laughing person, a heart, a hug. It is so much easier. Celebration का वो भेज देंगे. It is so much easier. But when they meet people face on face, one on one, they don't know how to celebrate anymore. They don't know how to communicate their feelings. That I
See,
agree.
one shift after that has happened is with the Twitter, WhatsApp, Twitter. Because when this SMS started coming in, it became very easy to communicate within a fraction of a second. You don't have to go to Facebook, you don't have to log in, and you need not tell to everywhere. One-to-one communication has improved much more with a SMS, whether it's a WhatsApp, whether it's a person-to-person messaging systems. The advance of technology had forced our behavior to change in
Yes.
order to survive ourselves with new technology.
Yes.
Now, our partner in the environment is technology, not a human being. And
Um,
your identity, as I was telling long back, your identity will be concealed in the cell phone. If you don't have cell phone, you are no more identifiable. And now the things have gone beyond that. Even we don't require cell phone to identify you.
नहीं अभी तो
AI is enough. AI is enough to check your identity, check your all numbers, check your all details, and verify you. And it's sad to say that machine has to validate the human. And you have to prove that you are human. It's
हाँ.
really sad.
It's sad. So the thing is that
We have to accept no other choice.
it is a very fast-pacing world. And this fastness has also come because of the technology only. Otherwise, we all were, वो दोरी डंडा से चटनी बना रहे थे, कड़क 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 आराम से. The moment this mixies came, उसके अंदर धनिया पुदीना अदरक हरी मिर्च सब डाल के you are mixing and then this and ये look, the flavor is different. But then life became faster. Women chose to go out and do the work. They wanted to work. And because of that, they needed to do things faster. जिसकी वजह से मिक्सी इन्वेंट हुई, उसकी वजह से चटनी is now getting into this mixie rather than on the stone, how they used to do it in the older days. So,
Yeah, I came to know about one story
Hmm.
through newspaper. One girl had committed suicide because the another person could not reply, and she
It's
lost
sad.
the patience.
It's very sad. It's very sad. Um,
No, she lost the patience because why this fellow is not replying. That's all. And ultimately, what happened really is that fellow's cell phone was dead for 2 or 3 days. Some technical error. And unnecessarily, this little girl lost her life.
I understand.
Nothing. It was not at all a part and culture of India earlier. And if you cannot communicate with somebody, you will get depressed. And to this extent that you will kill yourself.
So, fast-pacing world के साथ the patience level has decreased.
Yes.
Earlier, when we wanted to communicate, there were letters that we were writing which would reach 1 month after. Maybe the problems of the house that we would be facing would have been, resolved by then. But the person at the other end would be getting the letter so late. And people used to wait because they had hope. Now, because of the technology, people want कि मैंने अभी message किया है, I should get the reply back right now. Uh, the privacy has gone so lame that when you used to go out, you did not have any phones. If you wanted to call back home, you would wait, drop by, stop at a PCO and call your family and let them know something. Now, family wants to know where you are. Hello, kahan hai? Where are you? How long will you take to come home? Or else they have a family app on the phone. Let's keep on tracing them. Where are they going? Now,
Now
if
the things are a little different. I'm talking a little bit of adult content. I'm sorry for that. I know few people who are married. One is living in India, another is living in Australia or somewhere.
Mhm.
Both are Indian. Both are resort people. Now they want to bridge the emotional gap. How? That fellow is asking this girl to undress. And this girl is enjoying that. And she wants to undress that fellow also. By knowing that both are far, far away. Okay. In front of camera, what enjoyment they are going to get? Making the fellow bad, or you are making the fellow good. You're sharing also. It's not, it's a mutual. Okay. And what exactly happened? That particular girl had talked this matter to me in person. What you are going to do, ma'am? 7 years you are living away. By rule, you can find another partner and go. He can find another partner and go. You are having a child, it's okay.
it's a level
But
of commitment, I would say.
no, what they are telling you, no, we are happy with this life. You be there happy and here happy. And they don't have any extra marital contacts, mind well. So they are very strong. They don't have any extra marital affairs. So in that case, the trust between two people have wonderful effect, though there is a video camera in between. Highly personal things I should not have discussed, but I meet so many people and I get more information than what is written in the books because I became psychologist somewhere in 84 and part of hospital management without paying utilized me as a psychologist some around 30 years. in all fields of psychiatry, every type of patient. And there are so many things which we cannot disclose also, because it's the first principle of counseling is that you should keep the trust of a person.
Absolutely.
Trust matters. And I do observe a lot of things because I have done my doctorate in social psychology from Annamalai University. So
Wonderful.
I can understand the perspectives, what you're talking, what you're doing, and all these things. But want to connect you a little bit. You are looking in the book too much. And their culture, what is written in the books of Westerners, doesn't suit the Indian culture. So that changes, we have to bring it from our own thinking. Totally different content and context, both.
I get you.
A long back, my teacher used to say in 76, 77, in India, people undress to take a lunch. Maximum Iyer fellows and Brahmin fellows, they will remove shirt and sit on the floor and take food. Those days. And in Westerners, they will dress to take a food. They will separate dressings. Attire will change. So this is the difference between two cultures.
I
For
absolutely
taking food, one
agree
fellow
to
has to
what you're
remove the cloth.
saying. I absolutely agree to what you're saying, but we have to look into this thing as well, that a lot of Western culture is actually coming into the country. It's not that
Yes, yes, yes.
Westerners are actually adopting Indian culture. So whatever is written, we are just exploring it. We are not putting a stamp on it that yes, what they are saying is absolutely right. It's for your own sake, what you want to take and what you not want to take. It's a choice of a matter. So on that note, let's close this session right here. Tomorrow we are going to talk about do not rebuke or praise. And thank you so much for the insights that you have shared. Have a good night's sleep. Take care of yourself and bye bye.
Thank you, madam.